Wood splinters rained down like deadly confetti. Kael took the brunt of it, his back a wall of muscle shielding me. He roared, a sound of pure, unadulterated rage, and shoved me backward toward Rian. "Get her back," Kael ordered, his voice shifting into a half-growl. Through the gaping hole where my door used to be, shadows poured in. Not men, not wolves, things made of smoke and malice, their eyes burning with a cold, violet witchlight, wraiths. "Hunters," Rian cursed, grabbing a heavy iron poker from the fireplace. Elara behind the hearth, now. No, the word left my lips before I could think. The wraiths weren't physical, iron wouldn't stop them. Rian and Kael were powerful, physical beings, but they were injured, and they were fighting magic with claws. One of the shadows lunged at Kael. He swiped at it, his hand passing through the smoke, but the cold burned him, leaving a frostbite mark across his chest. He staggered. I couldn't hide. I stepped forward, the hum in my blood turning into a roar. I wasn't just an herbalist. There was a reason I lived alone. "Ignis Sanctus Defenda Nos," I chanted, the old tongue tasting like ash and honey. I thrust my hands forward. A shockwave of golden light erupted from my palms, slamming into the wraiths. They shrieked, a sound like tearing metal, and dissolved into mist, forced back out into the snow. I slammed the door shut with a gesture, the wood knitting itself back together with a groan of straining magic. I sagged, the sudden expenditure of power draining my knees. Strong arms caught me before I hit the floor. "You're a witch," Kael breathed, his face inches from mine. He wasn't looking at me with fear, he was looking at me with hunger, awe. "Hedge witch," I corrected breathlessly, leaning into his heat. I like my privacy." Rian was there too, his hand resting on the small of my back, his touch branding me through the wool. The air in the room had changed. The danger had receded, leaving behind an adrenaline crash that felt dangerously like lust. "We are mates," Rian said, his voice ragged. It wasn't a question. We didn't scent it over the blood and the storm, but the magic, it clarified everything. Kael looked at Rian, then back at me. His gray eyes were dilated, swallowing the iris. She saved the pack, she defended the den. "I just fixed the door," I whispered, my heart hammering a erratic rhythm. "You bound yourself to us," Kael growled low in his throat. He brought his hand to my face, cupping my jaw. His thumb traced my lower lip. "Do you feel it, Elara, that pull?" I did. It felt like a hook in my navel, tugging me toward them. It was the reason I hadn't been afraid of the wolves. It was the reason their touch felt like coming home. "I feel it," I admitted. Rian moved behind me, pressing his chest to my back, sandwiching me between them. "We are broken things, Elara, exiles hunted." "I seem to be good at fixing broken things," I murmured, my eyes locked on Kael's. Kael leaned down, his forehead resting against mine. The intimacy was suffocating in the best way. "We are two, we share everything, pain, leadership, women." "I'm not a possession," I said, though my voice lacked bite. "No," Kael agreed, his nose brushing against mine, inhaling my scent. "You are the center, the anchor." He kissed me then. It wasn't gentle, it was acclaiming. His lips were hot, demanding, tasting of wildness and desperation. I melted into him, my hands tangling in his dark hair. Rian groaned against my neck, his lips grazing the sensitive skin below my ear, his hands moving to my hips to pull me flush against him. I was drowning in them. The heat, the scent, the overwhelming solidity of two men who wanted to devour me whole. Kael pulled back, his breathing harsh. He looked at my swollen lips, his eyes darkening. "We can't, not yet the wraiths, they were just the scouts." Rian stiffened behind me. "He's right, the High Mage sent them, he knows we're here." "The High Mage?" I asked, the fog of lust clearing slightly. "Why is the High Mage hunting werewolves?" Kael looked at Rian, a silent communication passing between them. "Because," Kael said grimly, looking down at his still bandaged feet, "we stole something from him, something he wants back." "What?" Ryan's hand moved to his chest, over his heart. "Not asterisk what asterisk, who?" Before I could ask what that meant, the repaired door began to glow. Not with my golden light, but with a sickly, pulsating purple. The wood hissed as it began to rot from the outside in. "He's here," Kael snarled.
Want to keep the flame ignited without having to wait for the next part? You can find the full, tantalizing tale on our main page. See the link in the description.